Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here for another Monday This and That vlog where I talk about many different things, leading you back to some videos I may have on how to do some of the stuff I'm talking about, giving you updates on current projects, answering questions that may have come in the last week, and whatever I feel like talking about. So let's get to the topics of today, and we're going to start off with the rhubarb powder. So you might have seen that wonky video that came out this last week on making food powders, the types that I tend to make. And one I didn't really talk about was, I might have mentioned it, but was the rhubarb powder. So I just recently powdered up a whole bunch more of my rhubarb. In fact, I'm thinking there's about, if you were starting with fresh rhubarb, my guess is there's at least 3 gallons of fresh rhubarb that I dehydrated down. Then I went and powdered. I still have a lot more to powder up because the more I use it, the more I'm loving it. So lately, because we're still working on bringing in the apples, lots of apples this year just from our 2 trees. And I've been giving a lot away. I've been dehydrating a bunch. And I already have a lot of applesauce and apple butter, so I don't want to make any more of that this year. So anyway, lots of apple pies. I've been making at least 2 per week. In fact, last week I ended up making 3. And what I've been adding to that, I've actually increased it up to about 1/4 cup of the rhubarb powder for every apple pie because it adds such a nice flavor. And so I've been going through quite a bit of it because of that. And I think this is the most rhubarb I've used. So from now on, that's going to be the number one thing I do with my rhubarb is to dry and powder it. And some of you know, if you've been watching me for even just about a month or so, I used some when I made the peach peel syrup. I added some to that to give more flavor. I also added it to the peach pies I was making from those same peaches. So anyway, really great option. And while I'm talking about powders, horseradish is another one I've been using more of lately. I made this last year. And yes, I have a video on dehydrating horseradish that I'll link to down below. In fact, I'll probably most likely just link to the full dehydrating playlist so you can skim through there and find what videos you find you are most interested in. Because of the cold I had last week, I still sound a little weird. Still have just a real slight cough and a slight stuffy nose, but for the most part, I'm much, much better. But one of the things I've been doing is taking my honey infused garlic, and every time I make it, I do something different because it's never, ever been just honey and garlic. In fact, the video I did a few years ago on making it is very similar to what I did here, which I'll link to that video down below. But the one thing that's different about this than the one I did that video on, I still have the hot pepper in here. I still have the cinnamon and cloves and nutmeg, but I added my horseradish powder to it. And that's really great for opening up those sinus cavities. So you can see, if you look close up, you can kind of see the little pieces of white in there. That is the horseradish. So it does add even more of a bite to the honey infused garlic and just brings that the benefits up even higher. And horseradish is an amazing antiviral too, so really great for fighting viruses, and love it. So I grow my own, and just last year was when I finally started digging it up and drying it up and using it more. And the drying, before I was using other methods, but I'm finding that just like with so many other things, I'm preferring to dehydrate most, and I find I use things a lot more when I dehydrate them. And then speaking of dehydrating, this is the other day for the Feast of Tabernacles. We had some friends over. We were switching back and forth each day, and we'd go to their house, they'd come to our house. And so one of those meals, I just pulled out 3 of my big beef roasts that I get from Butcher Box. Knowing I probably wouldn't need that much, I figured I'm still trying to make room in my freezer for that 1/4 of a beef that we have coming in any day now. So I took out 3 of the roasts, and between us and their family, we ended up going through 2 of them. I took the other one, froze it, so after it was cooked, froze it, took it out of the freezer after a couple of days, let it thaw enough so I could cut it up into smaller pieces, and then dehydrated it, and it makes for a wonderful crispy meat. This is working with any meat that I do this with. We know that if we just dehydrate raw beef, it's going to have more of a jerky, a very, very chewy, kind of hard texture to it. But when you freeze the cooked meat, you got to cook it first, freeze it, then dehydrate it. It makes it very light and crispy, and it's perfect for anything, It gives it more of a freeze-dried texture, which makes it so easy to use. And it's just, it's so yummy to snack on just like that. It's very crispy and just delicious. So when I'm packing stuff like this up, it's really hard for me not to sneak a few pieces because it's so good. So anyway, this will be something I'll use in making stuff like stroganoff or soups, stews, whatever sounds good that I'm going to typically add beef to. Even a coal cannon. This would be a good one to use in the coal cannon along with the dehydrated mashed potatoes, and then just cook that up. And in fact, I think I'm going to do that real soon because I do have another jar where I did something very similar, cooked up extra roast just to make room in the freezer so I could dehydrate the rest and put it back into my pantry. And then I want just real quickly on the Tatler lid. So I also had a video come out this last week where I was comparing 3 different brands of lids, and all 2 of them were very new to me because they were just sent to me for free. Now I want people to understand, I did not sign up to be an affiliate with any of those brands. So this is why I didn't have a 10% discount to offer you like other channels have. Once you sign up to be an affiliate with any brand, the reason the content creator can offer you a link for a 10%, 15% off is because they're already an affiliate with them, which especially with the 4 jars, because I know they're made in China and I still like them. I was very, very skeptical of them at first, but they work great. But they are made in China. And yes, it bothers me that they're not more upfront about that. In fact, 2 of the boxes that I got from them, you can just, the part that says made in China, everything else is very clear. Not only is it small, it's very, very faded, like it's done intentionally, so you can barely see it. That bothers me, and this is why I'm not an affiliate with them. But that's also why I don't have a 10% discount to offer. But coming back to the Tatler lids, I get this asked a lot, and I've answered it in a few videos but didn't think to mention it in that one, is that the Tatler lids, I thought I did, but maybe I forgot, they are not good for vacuum sealing. So I use metal lids only when I'm vacuum sealing, and typically only use recycled lids because I've already canned with them. So I'm just going to go ahead and use those for vacuum sealing, and I use them over and over again. So all of my metal lids, it doesn't matter what brand, all of them have worked great for vacuum sealing dried goods with. Just not the Tatlers. I've been working with those for years. The only ones that even held their seal for any period of time, and only about 50% of them held, were the older ones before they came out with what they're calling the Easy Seal, which is the only ones they sell now. They still are great. They still work great for canning, just not for vacuum sealing. And even the older ones were, it was about a 50-50 chance it's going to come unsealed anyway. So metal lids for sure when it comes to vacuum sealing. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, speaking of affiliates, now this is a company I am an affiliate with, and that is the Nano Knives. And I'm very picky about what I choose to be an affiliate with. I just don't automatically jump into everything. I want to know a little bit about the company. I want to know that it's good. Of course, sometimes the only way you can find out if it's good is to receive the product for free, try it out, and then give your review, because that's usually how the exchange works. You get a free product in exchange for a review, and you also are able to get an affiliate link that you can offer people a percentage off, and that is the Nano Knives. Just understand, whenever I do a review, I'm going to be thoroughly honest with you about any of it. And the Nano Knives was one I was very pleased to give a try to, because I've been wanting to try some good Japanese knives for a long time. I've had knives I've been happy with that have gotten me by, like the Pioneer Woman knives I got at a garage sale years ago. They were some of the best knives I've had, but these Nano Knives have been the best, and I'm so happy with them. They're the only knives I use now. And so I always make sure they're clean and dry and ready to use. In fact, I went and bought, on my own, I went ahead and bought a set of the paring knives. So I got 3 of these and love them. I probably use them more than any of the others, but I do use the others quite frequently. But if you'd like to learn more about that, about, you know, my thoughts on them, I do have a set review video that I'll put down below. Again, they are a more expensive product than what I typically am going to try to recommend. I usually try to stay away from stuff like that unless I really believe in it. So now I understand not everybody's going to be able to afford it. But one of the things I do want to say is that right now they're having a sale for 20% off if you go through my link. And so yes, I do earn a commission off of anyone who purchases through that link. But the great thing is you can also get 20% off. So this sale is going to go on through, I think, towards the end of November. So I'm going to mention these again at least one more time to remind you of that sale if you want to take time to think about it. But anyway, I've been very pleased with them. And I've been, the people, I love dealing with them. Again, these are all made in Japan. I'm not a professional chef. These are the only Japanese knives I've ever worked with, so I can't compare them with any other brand. I just know they've been working for me beautifully. I love them. So far, I've only had to sharpen one of them once. And I got another one that's probably this one, because I do use this one quite a bit, that's going to need to be sharpened again, but no different than any other knife that I use frequently as far as sharpening. Maybe goes a little bit longer in between being sharpened. But anyway, one thing I thought was cool was I just got this last night, totally unexpected. It was a gift they sent me. They didn't tell me they were sending it. Same company, Nakano. And it is a Japanese cookbook. So it's very, very detailed. And so this is going to be interesting. I do really, really like Japanese food. And I think it would be pretty interesting to learn more about different Japanese dishes and making them. So that was, you know, that doesn't look like a cheap book. So they just sent me that as a free gift just for liking their knives so much. But yeah, don't feel guilty if you can't buy any of the things that I'm talking about. But, you know, that is part of the exchange. You know, I got the knives for free, but at least I can still offer a discount, especially now with the bigger discount being the 20% going on. And I do want to mention that if you've been kind of on the fence deciding it, there is a better sale going on right now. But at any time you can go through the link and still get at least a 10% discount. In fact, I used that 10% discount myself when I bought this set. So I didn't know I could do that. So it was pretty cool. I could have used my own 10% discount to get a discount on my purchase when I did that. Okay, and then for the last few things I want to mention are some upcoming videos that involve you guys. So we've got the Canon collaboration video is already done. It is set to publish. I think in another couple weeks it'll be publishing. And the next one that I'm going to work on is the garden collaboration. So I'm going to give everyone to the end of October. So October 31st, if you're planning on sending any photos and you haven't already, for that particular collaboration, if you took any really great photos of your garden, it doesn't matter if it's a windowsill garden, a deck garden, a big huge garden out back, or just some close-up shots of some various things, or even things that you harvested and brought in and you've got laying on your counter. Pictures like that are great. So anything related to your garden, go ahead and send those to me. I'm going to use only 3 pictures per person. You can send a couple more if you're wanting to just let me decide which ones. And make sure you title the email Garden Collaboration and then put whatever name, channel name, blog name you would like me to add to your photo, even if it's just your first name, last initial, even if you just don't want your name in there at all. Just make sure I know that. Otherwise, if you don't specify, I'll use the name that the photos were sent under. Just make sure all the photos are in one email. Please do not send several different emails with a single picture. That makes it so much harder for me when I go to put these videos together. Then the other one that I forgot about was a while back I'd asked people to send me some testimonials on natural remedies. So what this is I just think this would be a really great idea. I do have a few. I wanted to be able to read some testimonials of people who, whether it be some kind of natural herb or something that they did naturally to heal themselves of something, whatever it is, and where it didn't require them to have to go to the doctor and get on some kind of pharmaceutical medication, whatever it is, big or small, just go ahead and I might not be able to read them all if they're all kind of long, but I'll pick some of the best ones, and then I'm going to put a video together reading these, because I think it's really great that we get this information out there. It's the real life testimonials that make a difference, more than just reading some scientific information. Oh yeah, that's great. It's great to have the science to back it up. But sometimes, just like we did with thyroid, I researched, and at that time it was really hard to find what I was looking for. So I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to learn all I can about herbs that are good to help boost the thyroid, and foods, and what I should cut. And we just went for it. And we've been off the thyroid medication for 11 and a half years now. And yes, I have videos on that I'll link to down below. And the first one is from 2018, where we went into more detail. And I also typed out a list that you can print off for yourself. So sometimes it's just giving it a try and seeing what works. Sometimes we find certain things don't work for us, and that worked for somebody else, and vice versa. But by sharing our testimonials to let people know you really can do this, I just think these are really important. So send me those. Again, their email address, raincountryhomestead@gmail.com, and then title it Natural Healing Testimonial or something like that, so I'll know what it is. I didn't pick out a specific title. Well, I hope you enjoyed my this and that for the week, and don't forget to check out the links and more, like to the Nano Knives, and the videos like the honey infused garlic and the dehydrating playlist that I'll be putting in the description box down below by clicking on more, the word more, somewhere down here below the video screen itself. You'll find that. It'll open up the description box, and you'll find all the links I'll be putting in there. And if I forget any, which does happen, just let me know, and I'll make sure I get it in there. All right, well, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.